I never should have cut through the graveyard that night. But it was late, colder than usual, and the thought of walking the long block through empty streets felt worse than slipping past a few crumbling headstones. The wrought iron gate screeched like it hadn't moved in years, and when it slammed shut behind me, the sound echoed too loud, too final. The first thing I noticed was the silence. Not the normal kind of nighttime quiet, but something heavier, pressing on my ears. The crickets stopped. No rustle of wind in the trees. Even the hum of the city felt swallowed. All I could hear was the crunch of gravel under my boots and my uneven breathing. The path twisted through crooked rows of graves. Some stones leaned so far, wondered how they hadn't toppled. My phone's flashlight threw shaky beams over the inscriptions' names. I didn't know. Dates so old they barely looked real. For a second, I swore the names shifted, like the letters rearranged themselves as I stared. I blinked hard, convincing myself it was shadows. Then I heard it. A whisper. Not close, not far. Low, stretched out, like someone's last breath escaping. I froze. The beam of my phone darted around, slicing over tilted markers and cracked statues. No one, no footsteps, no wind, just graves. I walked faster, trying to outpace the feeling crawling up my spine. A marble angel loomed ahead, its face eroded and half gone, but I swear it tilted differently when I passed. Its eyes, though blank, seemed wet gleaming faintly as if alive. I told myself to stop looking. Just walk, get through. The crunch under my feet changed. Softer, hollow, almost like wood. I looked down. The path was cracked, sinking. Each step thudded, like I was walking on a coffin lid too shallow. Then the ground pulsed. Just once, subtle enough to deny. But when I aimed my phone down, I saw it. Dirt shifting, bulging upward, like something beneath was pushing. My breath caught. The bulge split. Soil spilled as pale fingers clawed through, twitching, grasping at the air. The hand was skeletal, half-rotted, nails long and black. I stumbled back, dropping my phone. The beam landed sideways, and in that tilted light, I saw more. The earth trembled. Cracks split open across the path. From every direction, the ground birthed hands, arms, shapes dragging themselves upward, dozens. And yet they didn't come for me. The corpses stood still, swaying, heads tilting in unison like they were listening to a command. Hollow sockets faced me, mouths hanging open in silent screams. Then, one by one, they raised their arms, pointing. Every rotted, eyeless thing pointed at me. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. My throat locked like the graveyard itself gripped it. Then, through the still air, I heard the whisper again, this time right at my ear. Stay. I don't even remember deciding to run. My body just did it. My legs moved before my brain caught up, pounding against the path as those things, those corpses, kept pointing, not chasing. Just pointing, their arms stiff like broken compasses guiding me deeper into the graveyard. The exit gate should have been straight behind me, but when I turned, there was only more rows of graves stretching endlessly into black. The path twisted in ways I didn't recognize, leading me past headstones I swore I'd already passed. My phone still lit the ground in jolts of light, swinging wild in my hand, but every shadow looked wrong, like it was bending closer the longer I stared. I stopped, chest burning, trying to breathe. That was a mistake. The whisper returned, circling me. This time it wasn't one voice, it was dozens. A broken chorus, overlapping like every body beneath the ground was mouthing the same word at once. Stay, stay. Something scraped behind me. I spun the light back and nearly dropped the phone again. One of them had moved. A corpse standing at the edge of the path, its jaw unhinged too wide. Soil still clung to its ribs. Its empty eye sockets locked on me, but its head jerked, twitching toward the path ahead, like it was waiting for me to follow. I wanted to scream, but the air was gone. I moved anyway, not toward the gate, not toward escape, but deeper into the graveyard, led by the pointing dead. That's when I saw the mausoleum. It rose in the distance, bigger than the others, its stone walls split with cracks. The door was open, blacker than anything around it. My light couldn't cut into it at all, and every corpse, every shadow, every whisper was guiding me there. I stopped at the threshold, shaking so hard I could barely hold the phone. The whispers stopped. The silence was worse. Something was inside. I couldn't see it, but I felt it, like a weight pressing down on me. Heavy, watching, waiting. My whole body screamed to run, but my legs froze. Then I realized I hadn't felt the ground beneath me for a while. I looked down. The dirt wasn't dirt anymore. It was soft, wet, sinking under my boots. Hands, too many hands, were clutching my ankles, pulling me down. Their skin tore as they dragged, their nails digging into me. I thrashed, but the more I moved, the deeper I went. The mausoleum's doorway stretched wider, swallowing the night. And in the dark, a shape leaned forward, not a body, not even a ghost. A shadow thicker than the dark itself, with two pale eyes opening where no face should be. It spoke without moving. "You're not leaving." The last thing I felt before the ground swallowed me whole was cold breath against my neck, like the graveyard itself exhaled in relief. I don't know how long I was in that darkness. Maybe seconds, maybe hours. My body felt heavy, like the soil hadn't just dragged me down, but pressed me into the earth itself. I couldn't breathe, couldn't even scream. Only that whisper wrapped around me like smoke, soft and endless, curling into every thought. Stay, stay, stay. When my eyes opened again, I wasn't in the mausoleum. I was standing on the street outside the graveyard. The gate hung wide open. Behind it, the rows of headstones sat still under the dim glow of the moon. No moving shadows, no reaching hands, nothing. For a moment, I convinced myself I had imagined everything. Some nightmare spun by my exhausted brain. I even laughed a little, shaky and uneven, just grateful to be free. But then I felt it. Not a touch, not a hand, a presence. Something clinging to me, cold as frost, but heavy like a second skin. I looked at the sidewalk, and my heart nearly stopped. Two shadows stretched out in front of me. Mine and another, taller, thin, with arms too long and fingers tapering into points. The second shadow moved when I didn't. When I stood frozen, it swayed slightly, like it was breathing. I spun around. Nothing there. Just an empty street, the quiet too deep, too hollow. I ran. I don't even remember the distance. My lungs burned, my legs screamed, but I didn't stop until I slammed my own front door shut and locked it 3 times. My apartment looked the same as always safe, normal. I threw myself onto the couch, telling myself that I'd never step near that graveyard again, that this was over. But the whisper hadn't left me. It seeped through the walls, through the floor, curling around my ears, no matter how loud I turned on the TV or how hard I pressed my hands against my head. Always the same word, soft and endless. Stay. Stay. I barely slept. When I did, I dreamed of soil pressing down on my chest, of eyeless corpses pointing, of that tall, thin shadow standing at the foot of my bed. And this morning, I noticed something worse. My reflection in the bathroom mirror didn't match. When I moved, it hesitated, just a beat behind, like it was remembering how to be me. Its eyes were darker too hollow. I smashed the mirror, but that didn't stop it. Every reflective surface in my apartment, my phone screen, the window, the black surface of my TV shows, that second version of me, watching, waiting. I don't know if it followed me from the graveyard, or if I never really left. Maybe I'm still under the soil, dreaming this life while something else wears my face. All I know is the whisper has changed. It doesn't say stay anymore. It says soon.